So today we're focusing on ordering decimals. Our I can statement is I can order decimals from largest to smallest. So we'll be looking at such things as, is 0.4 or 4/10, is that bigger or smaller than 0 and 41 hundredths? So we're going to be looking which one is bigger, which one is smaller. Okay, this is our fluency. So here's a number line up here that we can use to assist us for this problem. What is halfway between 0 ones and 0 tens? Well, if I look up here, see halfway point is going to be right in the middle, so that would be 5 ones. Now, think of this. How many tenths make up 1 1? How many tenths do I need to make up 1 1? So if I want to end up here, how many tenths do I need? Well, remember, to go from one column to the next, I need a group of 10. So I would need 10 tenths. Now, what is halfway between 0 tenths and 10 tenths? Remember, 10 tenths is also 1 because I've gone from here to here. So what is halfway between 0 tenths and 1? Well, it's also going to be 5 tenths. I can see halfway would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my halfway mark. It's very similar to 0 and 10 up here. 5 is that middle halfway number. Alright. Now look at this one. What is halfway between 0 ones and 1/10? What is halfway between 0 ones and 1/10? So if I have a number line, 0, 1, 2, 5 tenths is the halfway mark. But what if I want to know this? What is halfway between 0 and 1/10? Well, what I need to do is I need to figure out how do I get to this column. I'm at 0 and I need to get here. Well, I would need 10 of these guys. 10 hundredths. And halfway between 0 and there would be my halfway mark, which would be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my halfway mark is 5 hundredths. How many hundredths make up 1/10? Well, we just saw that to go from one column to the next, I need 10 of them. So 10 hundredths make up 1/10. Now, what is halfway between 0 tenths and 1/10? Well, that is also 5 hundredths as well. If you have 0 ones, that's the same thing as having 0 tenths. You have 0 of something. Alright. Now on to our next one. What is halfway between 0 and 100th? So now instead of it being 1/10, I'm trying to figure out 100th. What is going to be in this middle spot right here? Well, if I look at my place value chart, I might be able to see a pattern. I need 10 to get to my hundredths, 10 of something. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And what is that 10 that I need? Well, they're my hundredths. It's the place value right before. So this would be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. So halfway between is 5,000. How many thousands make up 100th? Well, it's 10,000. Remember, I need 10 of these to go to my next column over. And the last one was half between 0 and 100th. Well, it's 5,000ths again, because 0 is the same as 0 ones. Alright, fluency. Write this number in expanded form. 34 and 652 thousandths. So you see you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 place values. So I should have 5 parts up here. I have 3 tens, so 3 times 10, plus I have 4 ones, so it's going to be 4 times 1, plus 6 tenths, so 6 times 1. I have 5 hundredths, so that's going to be 1/100th times 5. My last one is thousandths, so plus 1,000ths times 2. Anything else is wrong. Okay, next one. Write it in expanded form. I have 7 tenths, 5 ones, 6 tenths, 0 hundredths, so I'm leaving that one out, and thousandths times 4. Okay, our next one, 20 and 197 thousandths. So this is 2 tens, there's no zeros, so I'm going to skip all the way to my tens, so plus tenths times 1, since there's 1/10. I have 9 thousandths, so it's going to be, or 9 hundredths, so it's going to be my hundredths times 9, and I have 7 thousandths, so it'll be thousandths times 7. Okay, next one. 40 and 803 thousandths. 4 tens, 8 thousandths, I'm sorry, 8 tenths, and 3 thousandths. Thousandths times 3. Okay, so here's our next problem. This is going to be starting our lesson today, getting us thinking. Ms. Meyer measured the edge of her dining table to the hundredths of a meter. The edge of the table measured 32 and 1/1500th of a meter. Write her measurement in, so I'm going to highlight my keywords, in standard form, unit form, and expanded form. So my standard form is just what is this mystery number? Well, it's 32 and 15 hundredths. So whatever I see at the end, my unit at the end, that's where my place value is going to end. My last unit is hundredths, so I'm going to end in my hundredths. So my standard form is 32.15, or 32 hundredths. My unit form, I have 3 tenths, I have 2 ones, I have 1/10, and I have 5 hundredths. My expanded form is 30 plus 2 plus 1/10 plus 5/5, or 5 hundredths. So what do we see is wrong in the standard form that this person submitted? So we need to break it up into its units and telling us how many units we have. So this one would earn partial credit. What I need, though, is 3 times 10, that's this 30, plus, and my next unit is my ones, so that's going to be 2 times 1, plus my next unit is 1/10 times 1, and then I'm just going to switch colors because I'm on this blue part, plus, and I think I'm going to run out of room, so I'm just going to continue down here, plus hundredths times 5. Alright, so this is our focus for today. Remember, our I can statement was I can order decimals from largest to smallest. We're focusing on less than and greater than. You can think of the alligator mouth as it wants to eat the bigger number. So we would read this as 7 is less than 8. We can switch around and say 8 is greater than 7. Remember, always think of it as an alligator mouth. This mouth wants to eat the larger number. Okay, so let's look. We're going to start out with non-decimals first. Which number is greater? 13,196 or 13,296? Well, this number is greater. Why? Well, because this 2 right here is larger than this 1. Okay, write a number sentence to show which one is greater. So a number sentence means I'm going to be using these signs. So how can I use those signs to show which one is greater? Well, I can say 13,296 is greater than 13,296. 196. Okay, keep this in mind. It might help. It might be a resource you can use. On a number line, the numbers farthest away from 0 are larger. So if I were to plot 13,192, that would be past 13,196. This 13,196 is farther away from 0. If a number is farther away, that means it is greater. Okay, let's look at this one. Which number is greater, 12 thousandths or 2 thousandths? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot these both on the number line. This is 12 thousandths, which is 1/100th, 2 thousandths. This number is 2 thousandths. So which one is larger? Well, these have the same place value, so they're the same in thousandths, but here I have 100th. I don't have anything over here. So that means this number is larger. We can also think of it as this. We can read these numbers as 12 thousandths and 2 thousandths. If you have 12 of something, it's always bigger. Think of it as you have 12 apples and 2 apples. 12 will always be larger than just 2. So now I need to write a number sentence to show which one is greater. Well, I know 12 thousandths is greater, so I'm going to write it as 12 thousandths is greater than 2 thousandths. And that should have been a 2. It's greater than 2 thousandths. Let's try this one. Which one is larger? 299 thousandths. So I'm just filling out my place value so I can see it. Or 300ths. So let's look. Is this statement correct? So let's check. Here for thousandths, there's nothing here. So it looks like this might be larger. We have something here that is larger, and we have something here that is larger. What I need to do is I need to make sure I'm spending careful time on this. I'm going to look at my farthest unit to the left. In this case, it's my tenths, and I see, is this unit that's farthest on the left larger or smaller? This 2 is larger. So that means that actually 299 thousandths is larger. So now, let's look at this number sentence. Is this number sentence correct? No, this number sentence is incorrect. This is saying 300ths is larger than 299 thousandths. So what I need to do is I need to switch this. 300ths is less than 299 thousandths. Okay, now let's look at this one. I'm still using my place value chart to plot them. For today, I want you to just use it just to make sure. I have 705 thousandths or 7/10ths. So let's check. I'm going to look on the farthest place value to the left. That is my tenths. I'm going to see is one larger than the other. Well, they are both 7s, so they're both the same. So I now go to my next place value, and I'm going to check to see my hundredths. Well, here's a 0, and there's nothing here. Remember, if there's nothing in a spot, that is also a 0. So now they're both the same. So what can I do next? Well, I go to my next place value, thousandths. There's a 5 here, but there's nothing here. So if there's nothing there, that's a 0. So what's larger, 5 or 0? Well, 5's larger, so that means that this top number is my larger unit, 705 thousandths. So now I need to write a number sentence to show that. 705 thousandths is larger than 7/10. Now, how else could I write this number sentence? Well, right now I'm using larger than or greater than, so I want to switch it and use this sign, my less than. So I just need to switch the order. 7/10 is less than 705 thousandths. Okay, so let's keep practicing some more. Here we have a fraction one. So I want you to think, what do you think this looks like? 705 over 1,000. Well, here I see 1,000. So if I had to take a guess, I'm probably going to guess that goes in my thousand spot because those match up. So this would be 705. And here I see a 7 over 10. This 10 seems very close to this 10th. So I'm going to guess it's going to go there. And look, this is the same problem we have as over here. All we did was we changed it to fractions. And we will actually, if we do the problem, get the exact same answer and response. Only difference is we're using fractions instead of decimals. So let's try this one with a decimal and fractions. 203 over 1,000. So I see this 1,000, so it's going to match up right here. So now I just fill this in. I have a 203 over my new number, which is a 21 over 100. So that 100 matches up right here. So now let's check. Which one is greater? Which one is larger? Well, I start on my far left, my leftmost place value, and I see tenths. For tenths, they're both 2's, so they both have that same value. So they're equivalent right there. So I go to my next one, hundredths. Is there a difference in my hundredths? Well, here I have a 0. Here I have a 1. 1 is larger than 0, so that means this is my larger number. 21 hundredths is larger. So now I need to write a number sentence. 21 hundredths is larger or greater than 203 thousandths. And how else can I write it? Well, I want to use my less than sign, so I'm just going to switch the order. 203 over 1,000 is less than 21 hundredths. Let's look at our next problem. Which number is greater? 15 and 203 thousandths or 15 and 21 hundredths? So let's look. Now we have both numbers, a whole number and decimals. So this is going to be 15, 203, and this one will be 15, 21. So I'm going to start again. Tens, same number. I start on my leftmost place value because that's my largest. They're the same, so now I'm going to ones. Ones are both 5's, so they're the same. Now I'm going to go to my tenths. Tenths, they're both 2, so they're the same. So these numbers seem like they're pretty close together. Now I go to hundredths. Hundredths are not the same. We see in my hundredths that this 1 is greater than that 0. So that means this number is my larger number. 15 and 21 hundredths is larger. So now I write a number sentence. 1521 is larger or greater than 15 and 23 thousandths. How else could I write this number sentence? Remember, I take it and I just want to use the opposite sign. It eats the larger number, so I put the larger number so that it is being eaten. And then when it's written a little nicer, we see it matches up. Okay, so now I think we have the hang of it, so we're going to try putting some numbers in order from largest to smallest. I have 0.413, 56 thousandths, 164 thousandths, and 531 thousandths. My smallest number, if you remember, I'm looking at my leftmost place value, which is my tenths. I don't have any whole numbers, so I'm looking at my tenths, and I see that my smallest is 0, so that means this will be my smallest number. My next smallest, I'm going to cross out just to keep track. My next smallest I see is this 1. 1 is less than 4 is less than 5. My next smallest is 4. 4 is less than 5. And my next smallest is my last, which makes it also my biggest. Okay, so now use your critical thinking. Use your symbols. So remember, these are my symbols to order them from least to greatest. Well, this is my least, so it's going to be my smallest. My mouth wants to eat larger numbers, so I'm just going to put them in order from least to greatest, and I just add those symbols in their place. And then when it's all written out nicely, that is what it will look like. You see it's smallest to largest. The only difference is instead of putting them on rows, I just use my symbols to organize them. Okay, let's look at this one now. Put the following numbers in order from smallest to largest. So I start my leftmost place value, in this case my tens, and I see they are all 2s. So now I go to my next leftmost place value, which is my 1s, and I see something. I see 2 7s and 2 9s. 7s are less than 9s, so that means I'm going to be looking at these 2 1s right now. I'm going to ignore my 9s because they're larger. So I'm going to go next to my next place value, which is my tenths. They both have the same tenths. They both have 0, so I go to my next one. My next one is hundredths, and I see there's a difference here. 0 is less than 1, so that means my 27 and 5 thousandths is smaller. My next smallest was 27 and 19 thousandths. So those two are now taken care of. So now I need to figure out which one of these two is smaller. Well, I already looked at their tenths and hundredths, so now I need to look, or I'm sorry, I looked at their tens and ones, so now I need to look at their tenths. I have a 0 and 5. Well, 0 is less than 5, so that means this one is smaller, which means 29 and 5 tenths is my largest number. How do I organize them from smallest to largest using symbols now? All I'm doing is I'm just going to put that less than sign in and put them straight in a row. Alright, we have one more to try. This one I'm going to see if we can take a little shortcut for you. I'm going to look at my whole numbers, and I see they all start at 119. So that means I'm not going to spend any time comparing the whole numbers. I'm only going to look at my decimals. So now I'm going to look at my tenths. I have a 1, 0, 0, or 0, 1. That means this 0 is my smallest, so I can now get rid of it. The rest of them all had 1s, so I can look at my next unit over. My hundreds, 7, 7, 8. Well, look at this. 7s are smaller, so these are going to be this number or this number. They're my smallest. They're going to be right there. 8 is larger than both of them, so that means I can already make it my largest number. There's nothing that's going to be bigger than it. So now I'm just left with which one is smaller. Well, I have my thousandths now, so that's what I'm going to compare. 7 thousandths or 3 thousandths. 7 is larger than 3, so that means it's going to go in this category. And that 3 is smaller, so it's going to go here. Now if I organize using symbols, like this part is asking me for, I just put that less than sign in, and then just put them straight in a row. Alright, what you're going to do now is you are going to complete your problem set. When your problem set is done, you're going to work on a math station. Math station is anything on our class website in the math resources part, which includes Dreambox and our math games. Alright, good luck.